The IndyCar race at Iowa this past weekend brought up a lot of questions, raised a lot of red flags about the series' future at the track, about the track itself, and about the series as a whole. So I'm curious, who do you think is to blame? I've seen a lot of finger pointing across social media, across Reddit, about who is at fault for the lack of attendance, really, lack of energy around this event, when just a year or two ago, it was a packed house, high-ticket event. I have friends who live in Iowa, and a lot of them said, oh yeah, we know about the concerts, the races going on, the track in Newton. Like, they knew that it was going on. And so to see this like precipitous decline happen so quickly is concerning. And I think there's a lot of blame to go around. I've seen Roger Penske and just the leadership of the IndyCar series, kind of the lack of promotion around this event. Of course, you could blame Hy-Vee for pulling out, but then maybe you try and find another avenue to keep that going in some way. Of course, you could blame the repave and bad racing last year, but I feel like that's maybe a bit of an exaggeration. Of course, the racing wasn't good there last year. It was good this past weekend. Year of bad racing doesn't necessarily mean huge ticket sale declines, at least not in my experience, at least not to that level. And of course, I guess there's some blame for NASCAR, whether you want to blame kind of how IndyCar and NASCAR work out their track agreements. I would really love for someone to explain that to me, because IndyCar has run at NASCAR tracks for decades, and I've heard a lot of blame about this recently, and I'm curious to know what has changed. Like, I honestly want to know. I'm curious. Finally, I think you can blame NASCAR because now they have a Cup Series date there, and if people are going to spend their money and time, maybe they just are going to pick one. I also think part of it's scheduling, right? Like, you have your two marquee events within kind of a 3-4 week span, mid-July to early August. If NASCAR is going to take the early August date, like IndyCar, could you move it to June? Maybe this is the race that follows the Indy 500. People could see an oval. There'd be some incitement and enthusiasm there. But I also feel like, if you're a fan in Iowa and you're having to choose, you may not be able to go to both of these events, especially in a short time frame.